Practice more.
Superhero teams aren't always built equal. Look at the Justice League, specifically from the DCAU. Superman was massively underpowered in the first season, while by the final seasons, Wonder Woman is getting shit on by threats that Superman is just furiously dismantling. The Avengers have Thor and Hulk throwing down with cosmic threats, while Hawkeye's just firing arrows in the back. Even in anime, the Z fighters are mostly background now, with Goku and Vegeta carrying fights, while Gohan and Piccolo are only just becoming relevant again. That imbalance makes you wonder, what happens when a team is built so that every member can actually compete? When I was 7 years old, I turned myself and my friends into comic book vigilantes named the Guys. We're calling it the Guys. But beyond fighting villains, it was me creating a space where I felt like a hero in a world full of trauma. And for years, I poured everything into it. Blood, sweat, ambition, trying to turn it into a franchise bigger than itself. But the breakout moment never truly came, which leaves me with one question. What do you do when reality sets in, but the dream never changes? That brings me to Xonerate, a cosmic energy that shapes their powers, their choices, and even their identities. Born from Planet X and carried to Earth, Xonerate flows through the changers like a life force, channeled into fire, water, and plant life through alien gauntlets, or shaped directly into weapons by Ivy, their alien princess teammate. But here's the hook. Xonerate doesn't only give the changers their powers, it mirrors the mental state of the user, turning every battle into assessments of their willpower. So what if my childhood superheroes fought each other? All four frontliners, Cheyne, Jay, Zaire, and Ivy, are separate but equal in terms of abilities. Jay is the powerhouse, Zaire is the defense, Ivy is the speed, and Cheyne is adaptability and tactics. RPG doesn't count as a frontline fighter, so the deciding factor isn't strength, but personality, mentality, and how they fight under pressure. Cheyne, with his water-based Xonerate, is the most balanced fighter of the group. His strength lies in adaptability. He works best on the flank or providing cover, studying enemy patterns and waiting for the right moment to strike. His signature moves, the Geyser Burst and Lock Daggers, give him strong ranged pressure and allow him to control the pace of a fight, creating openings for his teammates. He's proven his tactical instincts multiple times. In Versus the Luminary, he coordinated alongside the others to overwhelm Manu despite his creeping paranoia. And in the bet, he used precision strikes to distract Mr. Crippy, buying the team the crucial window for a finishing blow. But while Cheyne can think on his feet, his weakness stems from his mindset. His paranoia and hesitation often slow him down in drawn-out battles, where second-guessing only becomes costly. Unlike Jay's overwhelming burning upper or Ivy's lightning-fast blitzes, his power lacks a clear, definitive finisher, meaning he relies heavily on timing and teamwork to secure victories. As a result, Cheyne would likely survive the longest in a free-for-all by playing smart and keeping his distance, but without a stronger personality pushing him forward, he struggles to truly close out a fight. Zaire is the team's defensive anchor, a specialist whose plant-based Xonerate allows him to control terrain, shield allies with leaf shields called guard cells, and restrain enemies with crushing vines. His calm, laid-back mentality means he rarely panics, keeping the pace steady even when chaos erupts around him. What makes Zaire stand out is his creativity. He doesn't just summon vines, he experiments with them, even lacing roots with THC to sedate enemies. His feats show his reliability across battles. In the bet, he was the one to pin down and restrain Crippy's tail, creating the opening that allowed his teammates to land the finishing blow. In First Day Out, he tanked gunfire head-on and used a guard cell to shield the group from overwhelming firepower. And in Bad Beach Barista, his vines were quick enough to smack projectiles back midair. But while his defensive instincts make him dependable, his relaxed nature becomes a liability when the fight requires a decisive finishing move. Without the killer instinct that drives someone like Jay, Zaire often ends up setting the stage for others instead of claiming victory himself. In a prolonged battle, he could easily outlast the others with his defenses, but his lack of finishing drive means that sooner or later, fighters with more aggression like Jay or Ivy would eventually overtake him. Ivy is the Ixlandrian speedster, Unique among the team in that she doesn't rely on gauntlets to control Xonerate. She wields it directly, marking her as the most natural conduit of their shared power source. Her extreme speed and reflexes make her deadly in blitzes, dodges, and precision strikes, and her exo weapon is just as versatile, shifting between staff, sword, axe, and boomerang depending on the fight. Her feats showcase how overwhelming she can be. In First Day Out, she held her own in a 5v1 against an entire gang on her own before the others even arrived, dodging bullets and mocking her opponents mid-fight. In Versus the Luminary, she literally outran lightning itself, a speed feat that none of the others could replicate. And in their earliest encounter, she single-handedly soloed Cheyne, Jay, and Zaire at once, establishing herself as a terrifying opponent even to her future teammates. But her strengths are tempered by her flaws. Ivy is impulsive and naive, often underestimating the consequences of her actions, and while she's fast, she isn't physically as strong as Jay or durable as Zaire. That eagerness to prove herself has nearly killed her more than once, and in drawn-out battles, her lack of endurance and tactical foresight drag her down. In a one-on-one, she could outpace and outmaneuver almost anyone, but in a full team free-for-all, her recklessness and overconfidence keep her from finishing the fight. Jay is the team's offensive powerhouse, wielding fire through gauntlets that are the hardest to control but also hit the hardest. She thrives on recklessness, and her hunger for battle pushes her forward in every scenario. Hesitation isn't in her vocabulary. Jay's fighting style is built on aggressive, high-impact combos like burning upper, fiery blitzes, and area-clearing strikes that keep enemies on the back foot. Her feats back this up across multiple battles. In Versus the Luminary, she went blow for blow with Manu himself, refusing to back down even as the tyrant unleashed his lightning. In the bet, she and Zaire combined for a devastating finishing strike that caused cardiac arrest in the monster snake. And in Bad Beach Barista, she casually set a volleyball on fire mid-game just to secure the win. A perfect snapshot of her instinct to always escalate. But this raw, destructive energy comes with clear weaknesses. Jay is reckless, often breaking things and people unintentionally, and she struggles with restraint, making her the most likely to push too far. Yet, in a fight where personality can matter just as much as power, that relentless drive and refusal to quit often makes her the last one standing. RPG, of course, doesn't belong in the brawl. As the team's strategist and support, she thrives behind the scenes. In a pure fight, she obviously gets fucking destroyed, but if she were coordinating like usual, her influence could sway the battle in anyone's favor. In the end, the outcome is clear. Cheyne's hesitation keeps him from closing, Zaire's passivity holds him back from ever landing the final blow, and Ivy's impulsiveness burns her out before the fight is done. Jay, reckless and destructive as she is the one who pushes through. Not because she's the strongest on paper, but because she's the hungriest to win. That drive doesn't erase the value of the rest of the changers. Each one brings something that the others can't. But in a fight where personality decides the outcome, Jay's relentlessness makes her the last one standing.
Do you like The Changers? Do you want to read The Changers? Visit thechangerstas.com. Animations, links, merch, music, character bios, story archive. Click on an episode and read it. That's all you gotta do. That's all you gotta do. Subscribe.